Okay, I just started reading my blog, and unfortunately, I think this dream actually was a part of the dream with Nicole Kidman and Lady Gaga. I don't know. It could have been two different dreams, but they happen to both involve Australia for some reason. So, this one's really funny. I don't know how this one came about. Like, it was really funny. I think, I dreamt this because, in the jail they were playing Avengers, and like, who's the Thor guy, but anyway, like, he's Australian, right? So I think I heard that accent, and then like my brain converted it to, I had a dream that Vin Giang, I don't remember it, Vin, like the he was like a magician, and now he's like a speech coach guy. Like, he talks about he helps people with cadence and I wouldn't say the musicality of something, but like he's very into like presentate, like basically, like, he was into the magician stuff because, I don't know, he just wanted like some sort of like skill that could get him on stage, but then he realized he also had to be able to, present himself correctly. So he got into like speech therapy and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, he probably had like a King's Speech sort of moment or something. I don't know what the fuck. But anyway, in the dream, like, I don't remember what happened before this, after this, whatever. But it says that I was in Australia, so I'm like, oh, was it part of the other dream that I just didn't realize they were both the same dream? But I did mention in my blog that it's like, it reminds me of another dream I had. So I think this was a separate dream. They just both happened to be in Australia for some reason. Um. Anyway, like, he was saying, look, Kayla, I think your mom's really losing out with this Peter guy. Okay, so she was seeing this guy, like, I don't know what they're, like, I don't know if it was a, well, I guess, okay, I guess you could say, like, maybe they were dating or something, right? Like, she was giving this guy Peter a chance, and he, like, she wasn't feeling him after a while. Well, because he was, like, lying and shit, right? Nobody likes a liar. Anyway, I didn't know all about the stuff that was going on. I was in jail, right? So anyway, he's like, look, Kayla, I think your mom is really losing out. Like, he didn't like Peter. He's like, Australian men are some of the most charming, the most handsome, and the warmest guys you'll ever meet. And I have to, and this is very much in line with how he like does like kind of sell pitches. Like, I know this because I happen to be one. Like, he does that whole self referential thing, like, I know your problems because those used to be my problems, or I know that's good because I, like, like that kind of like establishing some sort of like, I guess, ethos through past history. Like, it just like, not obnoxiously so, like, not like all the accolades or whatever, but just a little bit, enough to be like, like a little familiarity there, right? And Australian people are kind of like that anyway. Like, they like that, like, a little familiarity, right? But I don't know. I found that really funny because I was like, because for like, I mean, okay, so obviously this was like, my subconscious chose him to like, this was my representative of explaining how, oh, I don't know, like, there's a lot you could take from that, right? Like, okay, so basically my subconscious didn't like Peter for whatever reason. And also, which is kind of funny too, is like, all right, this is also really funny, right? I don't really care. Like, I'm not really into like, okay, yeah, I'm not saying like I don't like Australian guys. That's not the thing. Like, I don't like. Yeah, I like it. I like the accent and with that. And that's all. But my mom, I don't know why I have that accent. My mom, she had like a thing for like Mel Gibson. Like, she was really into all, like, she's like, oh, I love the Scottish, I love the Australian. Like, she's really into that shit. I mean, like, I like, yeah, like, I could give her, like, it's kind of give or take for me. Like, it's not like, It's not a plus one. It's a neutral. Like, so it's like, if the person's nice, then I'll like it. If they're a dick, then they're a fucking dick. Like, I don't give a shit. There's no like extra bonus if they're like Australian or whatever. But I think it was so funny that my subconscious chose an Australian guy to represent the fact that my mom could do so much better, because that is technically, well, it's kind of a fusion of both of our types, right? Because mine is like, I like Asian guys, right? I like Asian, and like, well, people from other countries or whatever. Well, that they're from another. I don't know, but anyway, so like my subconscious decided to make this amalgamation, chose the most like fusion esque celebrity. Yeah, he's a celebrity because people know him. So chose this amalgamation of the potentiality of like my mom's types, and then also what I particularly respond to, and it's like, you all can do better than that. Like you're not living up to your true potential. Like in the warmest, nicest way, whatever. So that's nice, right? Like we're more receptive to like, we don't like hearing the person's like, you're a fucking piece of shit, get the fuck out of here. But like, people don't respond to that. Like, you don't have to be like so overly warm and sensitive. Like, you have to find a balance between those two, right? Like, you want to be firm, but you don't want to be like a dick either. So you have to find the nice balance between firmness and also like kind of like softness. And anyway, my subconscious was like, yeah, fuck that Peter. Like, but what's kind of like crazy is I think he was paying my commissary. Like, I don't know. Like, my mom must have been like doing some like crazy work with it. Like, she's probably like, can you give my daughter something? Like, like probably making like stupid fucking promises to, like, I don't know. It was very like toxic throughout that. Like, yeah, I did some bad stuff too, but like my mom didn't really necessarily create a stable living situation with all that shit either. So it was like eventually something had to give. It was like something had to give in that situation. It just happened to be, like always, I'm the scapegoat, and I was the one that got the brunt of everything. And of course, like maybe he didn't deserve that shit either, but it was like kind of like, oh, how should I put this? He didn't really take any responsibility for some of the like. He didn't take like, okay. It's the same thing with Jahon too, right? Like look at me and my mom were not making really good choices at that point. So we were both with guys who lack responsibility, do have the capacity to make money but not necessarily keep it. Rely heavily on their, what is it called? I don't know what to call it. Like well, like all people rely like on their, not credibility, but I don't know, like not clout. I don't know what, like not social status, because that's almost like given to you by like your, not birth, but like no, that has nothing. But just like oh, it's just like, well, just to summarize, it kind of shit. Just fucking shit. Um, and that's what happens, right? Is when you compromise on your values and stuff like that. If you're not with somebody who shares the same values as you, it's gonna make your life a living hell. And it's like, and that's the thing too, is like sometimes things could be compromised, but if you're with somebody who doesn't necessarily have the capacity to compromise, or doesn't have like, doesn't have the communication skills, or doesn't or lacks the desire to do those kind of things, it's like, what do you do with that? And it's like, and also it's really confusing too, right? It's like they'll do a bunch of shit, and then they'll do one thing right, and maybe it is a really nice thing or something like that, and so it gives you this false sense of like, oh, well, maybe we can work things out or something. But it's kind of like I don't know. Like, and he wasn't a bad guy either. Like, personality wise, he was fine or whatever. Um, but it's like it's not reliable, like, right? Or I don't know, like, but that's the thing too, right? Like, and this is the same thing with my dad, right? Okay, so like I always thought that Susan was like a utter bitch, but I don't know the conversations he had with her before I popped it. Like in the same way that my dad's family probably thinks like I'm fucking crazy and shit. It's like my dad tormented me before like we'd reached the family reunion or whatever. And so like me being all like fucking weird in the corner, they're like, "What happened to her?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know." And it's like, yes, you do know, motherfucker. Like you decided to be like a fucking shithead the whole entire way, and now like my social battery's completely drained with your buffoonery. It's like, so I have like, and it's like you don't even like your family. So what the fuck is this about? Like I think he was trying to live. Okay, so my grandma was like, okay, so like my grandpa was Mormon, and so all like, so his sisters are all like Mormon and shit, right? Like I don't know, to varying degrees of like how strict they are on that, whatever. But like my grandma, okay, so my dad's the baby, right? And she was like, one of these bloody children's going to be Catholic or whatever. Like I don't know why I'm giving her a northern accent. She's from fucking Hampstead, but anyway, she was like, I'm gonna or I don't know. She was like Catholic. I think also like this is the sad thing too, is I think she kind of did that in a way. Okay, so in the same way that like I'm really interested in Asian languages, and I do like helping people with like English and stuff like that, and just doing the random things. My grandma also enjoyed doing that. Like let's just say we shared the same pastime, but just like different flavors, right? Mine's more of like on the Asian side, and hers was like all the Latin side, which I think it was also kind of in a way to just kind of like, because I mean technically I'm half Latin, right? So I think I don't think it was 100% this, right? But I also think like in some sort of way they wanted to like solidify, like, I don't know, and there's some sort of weird principle that's like church, because like my dad constantly like when we did have issues and stuff, he like tried to take me to church and stuff like that, and like but that's the thing too, is like and this is, I feel bad because I think this is like what my dad did because he didn't know, like, this is sad, I don't know what my dad believes necessarily, like I don't know if he's a Christian, but like a lot of what he says though, a lot of like what like he wrote me like he's very more like he's a fucking shaman, right? Like he's a fucking heyoka, like he's crazy and just does like random fucking shit. And like as a daughter, this is heavily disappointing, but like as a grown ass woman just observing my parents, it's like, oh, well, they're interesting people. like I didn't really enjoy being their daughter, but I could see how other people enjoy them. but yeah, I think the thing why that never worked, right? Why all that kind of shit never worked is because it wasn't authentic to him, right? He was doing what he believed, like he was trying to follow what his mom laid out for him and what he believed would create the stability from already like he basically he just didn't have any faith within himself to be a discerning leader in, I don't know, whatever he defined as morality, right? But I think that was also a thing too, is like I always like kind of joke around that my dad has the Loki spirit in him, because like yeah, it's the Heyoka kind of thing. Like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm a Heyoka. No, do you know what a Heyoka is? They're fucking weirdos. They're like, okay, and Fiddler on the Roof. The Fiddler on the Roof is a fucking Heyoka. Like what the fuck is he doing on the like he has no bit, like he's not laying down slab, or like he's not fixing the roof, he's just up there like fucking playing a violin. Like it's weird, like, it's like it's random. That's what Heyokas do. They do like fucking like they're not like, oh, I'm quirky, I'm gonna order like a matcha latte and drink it in a glass cup instead of a paper cup. Like that's not a fucking heyoka. A heyoka is like yeah, heyoka is like you like heyokas are the ones who are getting put away in the mental asylum. Like all the heyokas are like in the fucking insane asylum. Those are the real heyokas. So I don't want to hear any of that bullshit. Like I don't want to see this like model-esque woman saying, I'm a heyoka, unless she shows a picture of her running around naked, throwing her shit at, like, a postman or something. Like, literally throwing her feces like a monkey at, like, a postman or something. She's not a fucking heyoka until she does that. Okay? Like, I don't want to hear that bullshit. That's a heyoka. That's an actual heyoka. Ride a horse backwards. You know, walk around on your tippy toes all day long. Like, you know, just weird fucking shit. Just act like a fucking weirdo. That is a heyoka. My dad is a heyoka. Even when not on drugs, he is a heyoka. My mom, I don't know. She's just whimsical, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, they're weirdos and they're all into dreams and stuff, dude. Like my dad's like, cause like, okay, I have a letter from, like, I don't know, apparently, like, when he was in jail, he did the same exact thing as me. Like, not to the extent that I did, right? Like, I wrote, like, 200 pages and whatever. He wrote a few pages, but I mean, like, what he did write was, like, pretty telling, right? I don't want to go into detail what he wrote, but, like, he gets into, like, all this spiritual stuff. Like, one time he sent me, like, a letter, and he's like, I saw 2 owls mating in the oak tree, and that is a sign. You know? And, like, this was back when I was, like, 12, and I was like, what does that mean, father? What do you mean? what is this a sign of? Like he said it as if I was supposed to know, and I think that's the issue, right? Is that like there's so much in his mind. I don't know, maybe from drugs, maybe just from being like a very isolated guy. Because like I don't know, by the 3rd child, my grandma was like, you know, you gotta fend for your fucking self, bruh, and you're a boy on top of all of that, so like. So it's like he has the combo of being the baby of the family, but also being like the only male child. So it's like he's just constantly bullied by like older females, and then has like a really taciturn, probably PTSD, fighter pilot father who, like, I don't know, just spends all day on the fucking computer and doesn't even like play sports with him, and he has like a so, like, you know, like, he just had to do what he had to do, you know, like, because, like, that's the thing, right, is, like, my grandparents were very, like, structured and very, like, I don't know, for a lack of a better word, calm people, and my dad was a hellion, and he needed, like, I don't know, he just runs around doing crazy fucking shit, and, like, me as a daughter, I'm just, like, sitting there, like, oh, look at my daddy go. It's like, I don't want to join you. I'm gonna sit here and drink my Mai Tai on the beach. You could go surf the tsunami. I'm gonna be here. I'll be here. You could go do that, but I'm gonna be here with my sandwich and my Mai Tai and just relax. Cause I don't got time for that shit. No, you do that. You do you, boo. I'm gonna be here. But anyway, I don't even remember what was going on. This is supposed to be about a dream. Which dream? Oh, yeah. I guess it's just like the Vin, like, yeah. Yeah, it was just a dream of, like, Vin explaining to me that my mom made, well, it's kind of explaining, right, that not just her, but me at the time, but my dream was talking about my mom or whatever, or, like, Vin was saying, like, yeah, because, like, yeah, she's always wanted an Australian. Why is she bothering with this piece of shit? She could get an Australian dude. Or somebody who just, not even Australian, but just somebody that treats her better, you know? All this kind of shit, you know? Same with me. Like, this is like a horrible, like, cycle of transference and shit like that. But, I don't know, we're all working through it. We all gotta work through it. Whatever it is. But yeah, I always chuckle at that because I remember in the dream, like, I really, like, it was his voice, and it sounds very much, and like I said, it was, like, the exact kind of pitch that he makes in his, like, videos, or when he goes on stage, or whatever, like, you know, just, like, that's stylized, like, or I don't know, like if it was an essay, it's like the certain writing style or so, like speech style of him. Uh, but yeah, that was that dream. But like I don't know, I went on a giant tangent, but only because I only mentioned what he said. I don't know what else happened in the dream or if anything else did happen in the dream. Like I said, this is from a few years ago. So there are some dreams where like though it's been like several years, I could probably still like draw a picture of certain things, or like I remember how the dream went. But for some of these, no. Like I just got to be honest, like my brain didn't decide to save that information, for whatever reason. And like I said, whenever I talk about these dreams, I try not to embellish or like I try to keep clear what is like the memory versus me trying to figure it out in this current moment, right? So yeah, so it was just him talking about that, and I thought it was kind of funny. Yeah, I don't know. What were what was all about the Australians? I don't know. Well, I did kind of want to go to Australia. Like, I don't know. I have a few friends in Australia. So, like, during that time, like, I was just like, what am I going to do when I get out of here? Maybe I could go to Australia. Maybe I could go to the Netherlands. Maybe I should go to Japan. Well, I should go to Japan. But, I was, like, just thinking of, like, okay, what should I do? Or, like, what? Like, I was really just trying to contemplate of, like, what should I do? But mostly just mulling it over, because, like, that was the whole entire point of me being there, right? It's just to figure out, spread all the cards out and then figure out what I can play with what I got, But yeah, that was just stupid. But anyway, that's it. It's actually a really short dream, and I made a 22-minute video of just rambling about random shit, but at least I talked about the dream, and some of the stuff I was talking about was kind of relevant to what would be the lesson that was imparted by the dream or whatever. But that's it. Anyway, take care. Be good. Bye-bye.